You ready?
Let's do this. Hello!
Pixar and Disney, the two words light up different parts of your brain. Why is that?
Look so similar.
Don't worry about it. Happens all the time.
Disney may own Pixar, but Pixar ain't just Disney. So let's look at what makes each so different. Number 1, royalty versus average greatness. Princesses and papyruses. Even in present day, Disney cannot escape the princess-driven narratives they are famous for. Sure, Mirabelle is not specifically a princess, but her family is the backbone of the town, and she is essentially royalty because of the family she's part of. With the exception of Turning Red and The Incredibles, Pixar wants you to know it doesn't matter where you come from, if you're royalty or if you're just a rat. You are exceptional.
Not everyone can become a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere.
Number 2, hourglass versus looks like people figures. The real world is filled with all different body types. Historically, Disney's main characters' body types have fit into two major categories: hourglasses and triangles. Pixar's protagonists, on the other hand, are all kinds of shapes and sizes. Trapezoids, circles, hexagons, you name it, they got it. Turning Red's creators specifically emphasized they wanted to animate girls that really look like 13-year-old girls. Minus, the massive animated human eyes. Number 3, happy endings versus real endings. Who doesn't love a classic happy ending? Pixar. Pixar does not. Pixar is the answer I was looking for. Disney films generally are more conclusive and want their endings to feel like everything has been wrapped up in a nice little package. And sometimes that's really nice to watch and enjoy. Pixar, however, is willing to let the audience sit with a bit of discomfort and challenge their audience a little more. Their characters still have a lot to learn and problems to solve.
Sometimes I miss how things were, but nothing stays the same forever.
Number 4, villains versus someone who had a really bad day. It's fun being evil for the sake of being evil. For years, as viewers, we've loved Disney's assortment of straight up bad people. Or bad somethings. Disney certainly is beginning to open up to having antagonists who pull on our heartstrings, but Pixar has for much longer loved their own tragic villains, like Syndrome from The Incredibles, who just wanted to be a sidekick, and through being turned away so coldly then became Syndrome. What an awesome villain he was, 11 out of 10.
After all, I am your biggest fan.
Buddy?
My name is not Buddy!
Number 5, musical numbers versus musical montages. Disney nails the on-screen musical. They're famous for them, but Pixar holds the crown for animated montages that take an existing piece of music and rip our souls out while watching it unfold. Disney has churned out hit song after hit song after hit song that is deeply ingrained into my psyche. You may not remember the music that comes from Pixar films, but you will remember the melodies that go over scenes paired perfectly. Number 6, stage movement versus film movement. This one is a bit heady, apologies, but you're already here, I know you're into this stuff. Disney's characters move and perform like they are on a stage facing an audience. Pixar's characters tend to move and be animated in a more on-screen, dramatic way. Yes, they are animated characters, but they move and perform as people in an enclosed space around the other actors in a grounded way, like the argument scene from The Incredibles. It feels so lived in. Have I mentioned The Incredibles? It's really great.
Great!
This is not about you!
Number 7, everything is magic versus one thing is magic-ish. When you enter a Disney World, there's no limit to all the magic stuff that may happen. Princesses have ice powers, snowmen can talk, rock trolls exist, no limits. Pixar takes a different approach usually. They establish one out of the ordinary thing, famously called the what if rule of Pixar. For example, what if superheroes were real? What if souls were real? What if mer people were real? You get it. Then the usual rules of reality still apply, like, driving through downtown sucks.
I'll be home soon. Lucius will be here sooner. No firing the baby around the house, okay?
Number 8, unimaginable worlds versus pretty imaginable worlds. On that note of rules of reality, let's talk about setting. Disney loves to take you into new, beautiful worlds that are hard to imagine. Pixar will take you into a new world, but they're not trying to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. Pixar is like, okay, it's like a restaurant, but instead of people, monsters eat there. Done. Print it. All joking aside, Pixar is trying to bring the groundedness to these larger-than-life characters. I'm just saying, I'm not knocking it, I like it.
Grab your stuff. Go on, get on the... Put your homework in your pack. Bye-bye.
Number 9, kid-oriented design versus adult-oriented design. Let's keep this one simple. Disney's characters used to be way less likely to show up in pop-ups that attempt to take you to more mature websites. Until Pixar showed up, then Disney took a page from their playbook and a character named Aunt Cass appeared. Then things changed.
Sassy housewives want to meet you!
They do?
Disney knows exactly what we're talking about here. Enough said. Number 10, young protagonists versus any protagonist. Age is just a number, man. Not for Disney. Disney as of late shies away from following protagonists who are older than 24. Pixar on the other hand will tell a story about anyone no matter the age. Doesn't matter if they're 42, 78, a robot, Pixar wants you to know they are story worthy. Over the last decade, Disney's characters average out to 18 years old, while Pixar's characters average 23, which isn't a big difference when we put it like that, but still.
All right, you get the gist. She sings to it, she turns young. Creepy, right?
Number 11, off-screen demises versus facing the facts. Every Disney screenwriter has a button called the villain falls to their demise button, and they push it all the time. One might say they're a bit hesitant to get too real, well, except for that one scene in Tarzan. Yikes. Pixar, however, isn't afraid to get real when a character is gone, or show something a little more sinister if a villain kicks the bucket.
Look at mommy, honey. Everything is all right.
Number 12, none versus some. To be frank, I think we all feel like Pixar and Disney could both have a little more representation in this department. Pixar has some brief yet real moments of LGBTQIA2S+ representation. With Disney films, well, maybe Raya and Namari have some romantic tension, but unless it's stated by the creators of the film or we get a sequel with more proof, I'm just saying we could use a little more.
Oh, is that why you're chasing me? And here I thought it was because you missed me.
Number 13, timeless versus in the now. Ageless or of a certain age. A Disney film has a timeless feeling to it. Maybe it's a period piece that works any decade you watch it. Pixar, on the other hand, makes films that feel very much relevant to the very day you watch them in theaters. How do people feel right now? What are we worried about in the world right now? What kind of restaurant do monsters eat in right now?
Oh, about that hustle, am I right?
Number 14, many versus the brave few. You know who makes great sequels? Pixar. Pixar does. Pixar is the answer I was looking for. That was a sequel to my earlier joke. Not all Pixar sequels are created equal. Nonetheless, they know how to do it. Disney has done many sequels, but they haven't achieved the critical success of Pixar's roster of highly regarded sequels. Lion King 2 is really good though, you should definitely check it out.
Here, large popcorn, small soda, save me a seat, send your ballet rows back. I'll be back before the previews are over.
Number 15, tested and dependable versus push it to the limit. When you think of Pixar, one thinks of a cute lamp bouncing on an eye until he gets the spot. Now, when I say Disney, what does that make you think of? Exactly, princess-themed lunchboxes. Well done. This is part of what makes their reputations differ. A small amount of hot tea here, I do love me a Disney film, but the average Pixar film has an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, while Disney animated films have an 80% average. Both great scores, but you know, people have noticed. But with great reputation comes great responsibility. Pixar is known for pushing the envelope, so if they maybe make a more lighthearted film that doesn't challenge us, people notice. Luca received a few very Luca-warm reviews for this very reason. You should now feel less weird about believing Pixar and Disney are like salt and pepper. Both good, just not the same. Is there anything you noticed that wasn't on this list? Feel free to share below. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe so you don't miss out on more news about your favorite animated movie things. And thanks for watching The Things Animated.